The views and opinions expressed on This Can't Be Adulting are solely those of the host and do not represent or reflect the views of any individual, organization, employer, or entity we may be affiliated with. The content of this podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. Listener discretion is advised. Yo, welcome to This Can't Be Adulting, the podcast where two guys who probably should have it all figured out absolutely don't.
Careers, money, relationships. No one handed us a manual, so we're figuring it out the only way we know how, with real talk, deep dives, and a whole lot of laughs.
I'm Herb.
And I'm Derek. And if you're out here wondering, am I doing this right? Trust us, you're not alone.
So hit play, relax, and let's figure this out together. Yo, welcome back to another episode of This Can't Be Adulting, Season 2, Episode 18.
That's crazy. You know, that makes a total of 40 episodes that we recorded since the beginning of our podcast.
Man, all right. 40 down, 40 10 to go,
for the
25 to go, 50 to go.
Yeah,
okay.
We're going to be out here.
We out here.
No, we out here. Been a while. We apologize.
It's
been a while. We apologize. We apologize.
And in the meantime, it's been a lot of things that have transpired in those 10 days. Unfortunately, we both had heartbreaking losses with our World Cup teams.
Oh, fucking World Cup, man.
Yep.
It was so funny. I was seeing some shit online about how people are like, what am I supposed to do after the World Cup, man? This is literally my identity now. Like, this is just everyone's
seriously.
identity is the World Cup.
Like, man, it's just really gotten us through the summer. Like, it's... I know occasionally, we have the Olympics and it can kind of placate this, but like a lot of times we have the dog days of summer. Like, what do we do? And like this World Cup, for whatever reason, just really was able to rally.
Because it's here, and the
you think
US
that was the biggest? I mean,
it?
obviously that played a huge role into it. Than the most recent World Cups that were. The last one was in Qatar, where it was, the timing and stuff, the time zones and things.
Yeah, that's what I was telling you. It's completely different.
That.
The one before that was in Russia.
Right.
Time zones are different. And then the one before that was in Brazil, where time zones were a little bit. But also just there's been a lot of people that are actually traveling to the United States from abroad.
Which is.
And intermingling with people here and seeing the beauty of like.
The States?
Yeah.
Stars and Stripes?
Well, I was going to say that, but yes, they're seeing the beauty of Waffle House, Walmart.
Which is beautiful.
I'm more about the beauty of the intermingling between Americans and Europeans and Asians and Africans and all this. And I think it's interesting because given our standing in the world now, given who's at the helm, people outside of the country think that everyone's MAGA.
Yeah.
That's just the reality of it. That's what they think.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then they come here and they're like, oh shit, not everyone's MAGA.
Yeah.
Oh shit, people are actually kind of cool.
Yeah. Do you think it's a part of that is that people are cognizant of that, thus are trying to go out of the way to be overly nice, or you think Americans are just overly nice and hospitable like this?
No. Here's what I think it is. Here's what dare I say no, I don't know, but here's what I believe it is. Soccer is a very progressive sport. Like, not many MAGAs are soccer fans.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Yeah.
So the people that they're encountering are the progressives in this country who didn't vote for MAGA because soccer is a very progressive sport.
Got you.
And so that's all it is. Okay. And like I said, more than half of the country didn't vote for this fucknut. Yeah. More than half the country doesn't agree with what's going on.
Okay.
We're just in this position. However, when you're outside of the country, all you think is, oh, they're a bunch of overweight McDonald eating fucking racist, misogynistic fucks. When it's like, nah, to be honest with you, most of the country's not that. And then, and so I think it's
that's what we're gonna say.
There's definitely a beauty to that.
Okay.
And so I like that. But the World Cup has been riddled with controversy, corruption, and we won't even get into that because that's not what this episode is about.
That's fair. We won't delve into that aspect of it. But I will say one thing on that. Like, do you feel like now, like, we should at least have the World Cup here once every decade?
No.
What?
No. Well, based off of like everything, FIFA's too corrupt. The country right now is too corrupt. I mean, it's been great for us, but it hasn't been great for a lot of people. The reality is for certain countries, like the way we treated Iran.
That was terrible. That was terrible.
The way certain countries were treated just upon entry, the Moroccans, Egypt, even Senegal. It's just like, I just don't, I think that if if we behave ourselves with the rest of the world, let's bring it back for sure. Yeah. I would love that, but we're not behaving ourselves right now, right? It's like giving a kid a ice cream after they got a fucking F-, which isn't even a thing, an F- on their report card, and being like, yeah, what's up? It's like, no, we gotta pull some B's, bro. We gotta pull some B's.
I heard you saying, because it's like, how do you separate Americans from America?
I think Americans will be fine from that perspective, though. Like, we're still fine. We don't need
a
World Cup to be good.
I want to represent the Stars and Stripes. Like, I want to feel proud about what we were able to put on as a country, and also like even the United, like being able to put it on with Mexico and our neighbors to the North, Canada. So I feel like, it's something to be proud of, and in America right now, there's definitely a lack of, I don't want to say good American pride, but like positive American pride. Right. And this is an opportunity to have positive American pride. So that's why I think it's like, why not do this every decade?
Yeah, but then other countries are missing out on it.
I think Europe should do it the way that we've done it on multiple countries.
No, they are. It's not a Europe thing. It's not because we were like, hey, Spain and Canada, let's do it like this. That's the format moving forward now.
Yeah,
this is the first World Cup with 48 teams.
Yeah.
So they're doing 3 countries now. So the next World Cup, 2030, Spain, Portugal, Morocco.
Okay, then perfect.
That's the next one. That's the next one.
I like that.
And so that's how it's going to be moving forward. It isn't like, oh, we had this grand idea to do with Mexico and Canada. Like, nah, that's just the format.
Give us pride. Give us some credit. Hold on. Give us some credit, bro. Give us some credit, bro. Like, we put on an exceptional tournament.
Absolutely.
The Stars have shown
up. We didn't.
Yes, we have.
We've had a lot of fun.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Oh, we put on a great tournament.
Also, it's not just us. It's Mexico. It's Canada as well.
I'm saying North America.
The North Americas.
North America has put on a great tournament.
Yeah. It's been good. It's been good. I've enjoyed
it's not it. Perfect. Nobody said a perfect tournament.
But like I said, the corruption that this country participated in is wild.
I mean, we didn't win anything.
It don't matter though. But the fact that happened is crazy. I don't know. We won't even get into it. Right. You already know how I feel.
As I digress.
But I'm hurting because my beloved Colombia is out. And
tough way.
The depressed, so sad last night. But anyways, if I seem a little down today, that's why. But moving on. Herb, what do you got for us? What we got for
Today's
the people? What we got for the people?
Excellent and great topic today is we're going to speak a little bit more on a topic that I guess we've spoken on before and expanded on.
Somewhat spoken on before,
and we're looking to expand on today. But it's something that came about as we mentioned. If you looked at our socials, the boy over here had a birthday.
Happy birthday!
Thank you for 41. All you that reached out, show support. I appreciate it. But as I've gotten older, as we all get older, and we have that, that next year, especially feel like turning 40 was like, oh, you turned 40, but now getting 41 is like, okay, now I'm getting into these things.
Yeah.
And it just sparked about me thinking about some of the issues I feel like that I've gone through here recently that not necessarily I felt like dealt with aging as much as it. I mean, I guess it deals with aging, but it was just something that I felt like a little more nuance, and I think it was something that it sparked this conversation, this topic.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, look, for all of y'all who don't know, we did a change in aging episode in season 1. Excellent episode, but I think that one more so covered the idea of change in aging from the time you're younger to wherever you are in your life now, all the way till the time you get super old in your hundreds. I think for this episode, we want to focus more so around people our age. The 30s, yes. The 40s, and what that means, and really hone in on that, and not just talk about the challenges and the problems maybe physically, but like the different situations that arise.
Yes, the environment.
Emotionally,
yes.
With people close to you, and how that's much more different than obviously the situations you're facing when you're in your teens and 20s. To be honest with you, this is a perfect synopsis of what this entire podcast is about. This
Agreed.
This can't be 40. Listen to me. That should have been a podcast name. This can't be 40. What? This can't be adulting.
Right.
So we're definitely going to touch on that. Like I said, I think we will touch on like physically what that means, mentally what that means. And this applies to everyone, although there's obviously going to be unique and separate circumstances and situations for women and men. And
Absolutely.
So ladies, we'd love to hear, your thoughts
Yes.
about like, hey, what are some shits y'all dealing with? Because it ain't going to be the same shit that some of the physical challenges we're dealing with, Herb and I, as being in our 40s.
Yeah. Agreed. And just kind of think like you even saying that reminds me of like, or reminded me like, part of this also is dealing with like being in a relationship with someone that that's in a similar age bracket, and it's starting to have like, not necessarily my girlfriend but anything, but like starting to hear people that are dealing with issues with how do you deal with a significant other going through specific health issues that may arise whenever you get into our upper age and older ages and things like that. It's like as things I hadn't thought of previously, but just like going back home, listening to some relatives and just wondering like, dang, that is right. Like your mate, your your husband, your partner has to deal with you going through menopause, and like what role does that play on them? And then just like some of those things was popping up, and then obviously, we I don't say obviously, but unfortunately, we had a friend of ours who had a death in their family and of a parent, and it reminded me of, like, again, going back to whenever, obviously Derek and I talk about losses, but losing my dad, but it just really reminded me of, like, these are the things that are happening as you get older, is that, like, you have kids that you're raising and parents that may be passing, and how do you deal with those two things? It's like, it's kind of balancing those two acts out. And it was just some of those things that just kind of, like, I guess, going again, reflecting on my birthday and looking back on it and just seeing these environments is kind of like, man, this is the environment and stuff that you have to deal with as you get older.
Just the reality,
specifically in the 40s and this mid.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because you weren't feeling this when you hit 30.
Right.
You weren't feeling this at all.
No.
You still thought you had. So are you saying you're feeling the reality of mortality more now? What exactly are you feeling right now? Now, especially that you hit 41.
I don't know if it's a single word that describes it, but it's just more so being observant of their environment, that the world that we live in. And it's kind of like, for instance, we also, we spoke about relationships and breakups and things like that a couple weeks ago. And it's just like, those are the types of things that people are having to deal with, but also helping our friends that are going through these situations. And how do you be a friend to somebody dealing with this? How do you be a friend to somebody that's going through a divorce? How do you be a friend to like specific situations that you're starting to encounter as you get to this age? Because I feel like breakups whenever we were in our 30s were completely different than what we're experiencing now.
Okay. I think I'm following what you're saying. Some of the challenges, and more so the situations that we find ourselves in our 40s, you might have found yourselves in them in your 30s, but they were either A, less common, less frequent, and or whenever they did happen, they didn't feel as serious or as intense as probably now.
Correct.
So I guess, why do you feel that's the case?
I don't know. Again, I think it just maybe comes with wisdom. And again, I kind of mentioned, like, your body's getting older, but your mind is, feels like it's at its sharpest, and you feel like the most that you've ever known.
I feel like I be forgetting a lot of shit lately, bro.
Well, I mean, you feel like you got a lot of
data on that. You got experience.
You got that experience, and that's what, like, you got those things, so you're starting to see things, and you can start to get a visualization on how things may turn out if things go this way, or how things may turn out if things go another way. And I think it's just the enormity and the weight of that kind of really weighs on people, and why you start to see people start having these quote unquote midlife crisis is not necessarily just, I feel like, going into it previously, before I ever got into this age, I thought like a midlife crisis was just like this individual thing of, I don't feel like I'm holding up to who I wanted to be at this age, so I'm going through this midlife crisis. And it was that simple. That's
what you thought it was. Interesting.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. And I didn't think it was like taking in all the enormities of things that are happening outside of your control, and the impact that those can have on you, just as much as, I'm not who I thought I was, and now I'm going through, like,
I thought a midlife crisis was different.
Why?
And even to you say, even now, like, to me, I thought a midlife crisis was like, oh shit, I'm getting older now. I'm losing my youth. I got to go out and do things that are youthful and make me feel like I'm young, like go buy a Corvette, like go on that big crazy trip, like try to recapture the youth that I've got, that I think I've lost, and that I didn't realize I lost because I was head down, busy working or doing whatever. I didn't realize that. Well, not I didn't realize. I'm not saying you're wrong or that I'm right, but that's how I always understood it. I think the way you're saying it is much more accurate, because that's how I feel. I feel like, shit, I'm 40. What the fuck am I doing with my life? Like, yeah. Like, not that, yes, part of it is I'm losing my youth, but more of like, I don't know. I feel like I should have had this all figured out. Like, I feel, maybe not all figured out, but I feel like I should be on a path of, like, I got my steady job in my career. I'm slowly climbing the ladder. Yeah. I'm making more money. I've got money aside.
Right.
I've met the love of my life.
Yes.
We have a family. We have children. I fly out my parents to come see and stay with it. Like, all this shit that, like, that's nowhere to be found.
Right. Like
I'm literally opposite of the spectrum,
opposite,
bro.
like literally the complete opposite. You feel like it. So I feel like that's what they're waiting, the enormity of a midlife crisis. However, maybe somebody is in that specific situation that you're talking about, where they thought they had it all figured out. And I feel like the enormity from that is like, you have a family like depending on you now, and then you have your parents that may be depending on you now, and like, how do you uphold that? How do you? I don't think it. I guess I'm thinking like midlife crisis so much of like wanting to be young again, and more so like the enormity of being like everything on you being like the real adult, and it's like
that's what you thought it. That's what you think it is. That's what you believe in midlife crisis is.
The pressure of becoming the king, because it's almost like, and I don't know, I'm thinking of this, but like in my family, where now, for instance, this past 4th of July, it was amongst my generation of men to handle the fireworks show, and from a cost perspective to putting it on, and it's kind of like you're now assuming some of the roles of the older men, and it's like the crown's being passed down, and that's what, like, oh shit, here goes the enormity. Do I make sure I have my professional and career in place to be able to handle this? Do I have my relationship in place to be able to handle this? Do I have these things in place to be able to handle this, these responsibilities going forward? So that's what I guess that's what brought or had me thinking about this episode and this topic specifically.
Yeah. No, I feel I get that. I get that, and I would agree with you. Like I said, I think that to me would be my midlife crisis. Although I hope I live past 80. Hope I'm not actually at midlife. Hopefully, midlife is more 45. But I completely get that. And again, I think that's the whole premise of this entire podcast that we do here. This Can't Be Adulting is
true.
What are the, maybe not existential, some of them could be existential crises that you're thinking about, but like, what are we supposed to be doing? Like, are we doing this shit right? What is the fucking situation? Like, and is there a right way to do all of this? Like, what is this pain that I feel on my back?
Right.
Like, I think I don't know if we were talking about this in the last episode, not one of the previous episodes. I fucking was giving my dog Choco a bath on a Sunday afternoon. I was leaned over like I always give her a bath, leaned over for like 8 minutes, just scrubbing her, bathing her. When I tell you my back was, I completely blow out my back. Like, right. I couldn't even get up. It was awful, bro. And I just sat there, and I was out of commission for like a week. And I'm just like, yo, dog, what the fuck? I'm only 40 years old. It ain't like I'm fucking 60.
Right.
Like, what is going on?
Yes.
Like, going back, thinking about like, man, I'm still pretty, like, maybe athletic's not the right word. I'm still pretty active.
Agreed.
And fit. Like, I run a lot.
Even for our age.
For my age,
yes.
like I said, like, I don't play soccer anymore, but like, running wise, like, I'm a pretty good runner. Like, I run faster than a lot of these 25-year-olds. Like, I got the lungs. I go to the gym. Right. I don't really look 40. So for that shit to have happened, I was like, fuck, bro. When I tell you that shit got me so like down in the dumps, because I couldn't run for a week and a half. I had already taken a month and a half off because I had pulled my left glute running. Like, all these things, all these pains, and we're just talking physical right now. Shit that just like, that wasn't happening 5 years ago.
Exactly.
That wasn't happening 10 years ago for sure.
And it's just like the fact that you pulled you have a physical issue, but the mental aspect of it is what weighs out the most.
Oh, 100%. It's the mental anguish.
And it's like, that's the things like dealing with now as you've gotten older, especially getting to this age. I would say at 40 is like, I'm having to deal with like most things come down to like, it ain't the physical aspect of it, it's just the mental aspect of it. And it's just dealing with so many more things mentally than being able to, like, I feel like, I guess this transition for you was not necessarily at a younger age, you was able to physically deal with things. Now it's getting to more like a mental.
Well, I think it's interesting because they say as you get older, obviously you grow wiser, you have more experiences, and essentially people are more comfortable in the skin. And by that, I mean like people start giving less of a fuck about what other people think about them as you get older. I'm going to be honest with you. I feel the complete opposite.
As you've gotten older, you care more?
As I've gotten older, I worry more.
Yes.
I don't think there's anything wrong with caring.
Yes.
And I've had this.
Caring and worrying. Yep.
Caring and worrying are two different things.
Yep.
And this is maybe me of a personal thing, but I also think that the people that do care less, not all of them, but I feel like the people that do care less are the people that are established, are the people that are in a committed relationship, have kids, have their career going on there. Now, that doesn't mean that they're completely happy. I don't mean that. But I think them and their minds are like, I really don't give a fuck. Like, I got a boogery kid that's sick right now. I don't care how my fucking hair looks right now. I don't give a shit about how my weight looks. Like, I got my wife, I got my husband. Like, I'm good. Whereas in me being single still, there is a little bit like, man, I need to get my career straight. I do care what the potential partner is going to think about me from this perspective. And so it's been this whole completely thing because I actually feel less comfortable in my skin than I probably did 10 years ago. And the reason for that was because 10 years ago, we were all on the same page.
Yes.
Meaning, not many people were married. Not many people were established. We were all still working at the same company, and it was fine that everyone was still at the same job. We're good. Everyone was still getting drunk. Nobody was judging because we were all showing up to work hungover. We were showing up hungover. We were doing a little bit of drugs here, and it was not a problem because everyone else was doing it. It wasn't like it was an issue, right? There was a lot more acceptance of like, all right, we don't really have our shit together because we're all 30, and you don't need to. Whereas now I'm 40, and it's not like I'm doing that. I'm not out here doing drugs.
It's funny because you would have thought like, yo, if I cut the partying out,
I'm good.
It's gonna be good. And
then it's like,
no, I don't cut the partying out. That is not the case. Like, not saying we either one of us saying like, let's go back to partying. That's the answer. Not at all. It's just more so thinking like you would think that like, okay, as you're getting older, you cut down the partying, you're starting to focus more on the responsible things, and it's like, yeah, it's not progressing the way.
No.
In my head that I thought it was going to be. And then once we get into our head, I feel like that's the hardest thing I've had to deal with is just the mental spiraling of, okay, bro, you're 40. You got to figure it out.
Yeah.
You don't have 10 years. You can't wait till you're 50 to do this. Like, bro, you got to figure it out like today, tomorrow, within the next 1 to 2 years for the next 40 years. Like, you only have 1 to 2 years to figure this out.
It's scary, and this conversation is turning into something I didn't think it was going to turn into, but like this is what we do here. Authenticity. But what I was going to say is that I think what you're saying strikes a chord because being in the position that I'm in, and to an extent you're into, with regards to our career, I took the major step in January of quitting my sales job with this company, making 6 figures without commission, to try and pursue something extra on the side to see if something would come from it.
Right.
I love my job right now. I work at a museum. I give tours. It's low impact. It's chill. There's not much money in it. And not that I didn't know there wasn't, but I was trying to see if there was different positions that I could apply to that I can make a livable wage that would make sense. And I'm not really seeing something there. Yes, there's a livable wage, but I'm not really seeing something that's like, I got to go do this. And that's a harsh reality because been living off my savings because I only work part-time. And now I'm sitting here 6 months later now. And I need to put on my big boy pants. And I need to go get back to work. And this little experiment, I don't want to say it didn't work because I don't regret doing it. It's been a nice 6 months. And so many other things come into mind because while I didn't have the stress of the sales job, there were still so many other stresses that jumped in, financially, about like so many, like none of that really changed. And I wasn't able to find something. So now I'm sitting in this position where it's like, well, I gotta get back to sales. I couldn't really figure it out. And I have a sense of shame for that. Because again, I'm 40. Like if I was 28 and I had done this, it'd be a different story. But like I'm 40, about to be 41. You just turned 41. My birthday's in 3 months. And I'm like, what are we doing, boo-boo? Like, what are we doing? And it's not like I'm in a pickle financially. I'll be fine. But like still, like I just feel like what's good, bro? And the job market's trash, and I'm probably gonna have to get back into sales. And like I'm back at square one. And like whether you feel shame for that, I should or shouldn't, I'm just being honest. Like that's kind of where I am. And so like again, this goes back to like that is an age thing. Because if it was 10 years younger, I wouldn't feel this way.
Yes.
But it's just this pressure of being 40.
I think you said a word that just like a trigger, not a trigger word, but a good word. You said there was the shame. Like that's what I feel like I've been dealing with is the most as I've gotten older. Is just you would think, like as you said, you thought that you would get to this point where you don't care and you care less about what people say. And now I feel like I've gotten to this point where I care more about what people say, and like the pride has gotten even bigger. And it's like, man, how I didn't ever think I would be this person to be like so care about like, oh, what does other people say about this, or how are people going to feel about this, or how are people going to react to this. And it's like, man, this is like I guess it is the weight that like is holding, like it is the biggest weight right now. I feel like as I've gotten older is the shame, and it seems like something that you would experience like as a teenager, like going through like trying to. It reminds me of like when I was smaller than everybody, and everyone else had hit puberty, and I'm like, oh man, I'm never gonna go through puberty. I'm never gonna figure this out, and I'm always gonna be small, and I'm always gonna be a kid. And it's like, you know, I do believe stuff will work out, but like it is the shame. Like it's so weird you say that. That's like the shame.
It's a shame. So I want to dive into that more. Like I get we're saying that it's with age, but why is it with age? And I feel like I know why, but like why is it that we're feeling all this pressure and we're feeling all this shame? What's your theory?
I think it's as we spoke about. You know, at one point in our life, our whole friend group, we were all on the same level. Now you're always going to be comparing yourself to your circle, your environment. And I think as you're getting older, you're going to be comparing yourself. And also there's outside sources, but you're comparing yourself to other people.
There it is.
And trying to live up to that expectation of even what you think they have of yourself.
So I'm going to take it a step further because that's the word I was looking for. It's a comparison.
Right.
And I'm going to take it a step further. It's the society that we've grown up in, and it's the messages that we've been delivered since a young age that your life has to look like A, B, C, D by a certain age. And in some ways, directly or indirectly, in some ways it's been said to you directly. In a lot of ways, it's just indirect. It's by seeing what other people do. We're social creatures.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we've always been about having a good stance with your fellow human beings.
Yes.
In a time, though, evolutionarily, where we lived in bands of 20, 50, 150 people max. Now, with the connectedness that we have through social media platforms, we can see what pretty much all 351 million people in this country are doing.
Yes.
And so that augments things because now we're comparing ourselves with the 0.1% of the 0.1% that's not even real.
Yeah, we're not even comparing with our people that we know. We're comparing with people that we don't know.
And more so, and I think even more nefarious than that, because that's just normal, is, and you know how I feel about it, I'm going to say, is capitalism. Capitalism has us in this constant spiral and circle of us eating our own tail of you have to be producing, you have to be doing, you have to go buy the house, you have to go buy the car, you have to go work 60 hours a week because that's your badge of honor because hard work is what makes you a good person. And so you sit here and take the route that we're taking, whether intentionally or not, and
you
it doesn't
think about
look
the
like
shame with like you're like, yo, because I don't want to do no fucking 80 hours a week for you guys. Like I don't feel like that's, but it's almost like looked at like that's what you.
And then you question yourself. You go, wait, am I being lazy? Am I being? Do I not want to contribute? And it's like that's not it at all. We talked about this in our hard work episode.
Yeah, well, work ethics. Yes,
work ethics. There we go. That's not it. Like I want to work, and I just want to be at a job where I feel secure and have a career where everything's secure, where I put in my 40 hours. I turn in good work.
Yeah.
People are content with it. I'm contributing to it. Like I want to be a contributing member to society. This isn't and at the same time, there's still a lot of us that are like, but I don't want to do it the way you keep telling me we got to do it. Yeah. But I don't know what way to do it. I don't know what other way to do it. And so we're in this dilemma where it's like, bro, what we doing? And I'm talking about everything. I'm not even necessarily work because capitalism is also.
I think we've seen it in our society. Like in the U.S., you see, and you hearing a lot of leadership from one side calling it communism. You hear some people saying it's socialism in an aspect, but I do feel like there is like the younger generation, our generation, people younger are looking at capitalism saying like, I don't know, this is not the perfect system. It's not working. Yeah. And then it's not working. Yeah. And it's not working, and it's getting worse.
It's not working for everyone. It's working for some.
There we go. It's not working for the majority of us.
Yeah.
And it's reevaluating that, and of course, the people that it is working for are not going to want to change the system. So it's like, how do you either? I guess we're in this place where we either have to choose to operate within the system, which, and to some nature, you're going to have to. Mm-hmm. Or find ways to operate outside of the system, but
self-sustainably.
There we go.
Yeah, and it's a whole dilemma, and I strongly believe that's why I feel the shame that I feel, because it's like I'm not operating with this. And I've also had people say shit to me before, like, and I don't think they meant it in a bad way. I think they meant it more as in a motivating, whereas more as in like a, dude, this is it. This is what we have. So just fucking suck it up and do it.
1984 type.
Yeah, like, I had an ex-girlfriend say that to me. And again, it wasn't anything malicious, but I was kind of just complaining about, like, I had gotten laid off. And I'm like, oh, man, fuck all this shit. This shit's crazy. And she was just like, well, what are you going to do? Just not work the rest of your life? And I'm like, whoa, I didn't say that. But, like, can we just acknowledge, like, what the situation is? Same thing with my parents. My parents say that shit all the time. Well, you're just not going to work? And it's like, that's not what I'm fucking saying. Like, this idea that y'all think that it's either 1, 0, or 100 is crazy.
Yes.
Like, people don't understand. A lot of people don't understand nuance because we've been indoctrinated in this country to think that it's either 0 or it's 100.
Yeah.
It's either white or it's either black.
You have to be an A. Everybody's an A student.
Yeah, you have to be, and that's it. And it's like, but like, what are we even talking about? That's just not the reality of what it needs to be, but that's what we think. Yes. So we think that if we're not performing at the A level, then we're a failure.
Well, I mean, it's almost set up to where you have to perform at the A level or you fail.
Also in every aspect of life. I'm not even just talking about like job. I'm talking about like friendship.
Yes.
Relationships.
Yes.
Fucking how you show up for your family. Like all of it. It's like you have to be like the best version of yourself. I mean, and by the time you're 40, you better have figured it out. How do you not know how to be a really good friend? How do you not know how to be a good boyfriend? How do you not know how to be a good brother or a good son? And it's like all this pressure because we have been taught and we have been messaged to be, we have to perform at our optimized level in every facet in our life. And that's just not possible.
At all. And I think it's okay. Man, this is going to sound like, and I maybe have to explain it on another episode, but like, it's okay to be average.
Yeah.
Like average is okay. And it's like, we've demonized average. And if you're not exceeding, then that's the only place to live and reside in. And it's like, that's the only time you could be, feel like this worthness is if you're going to be exceeding, and it's like average is not okay. And it's like, no, most people are just average.
That's why average exists, because average is not that you're not doing well. It's just what the majority of people where they fall.
Yeah.
And not everyone can overexceed, because if everyone's overexceeding, that's now the new average.
The average, yes.
So yes, we have to have average. We have to have mediocrity. Yeah. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because you being mediocre in certain parts of your life doesn't mean you're mediocre in all parts of your life.
No.
Like you will excel in certain things, and there's certain things that you will not excel in.
That's why you're average.
Period. You know what I mean?
That kind of balances it out to the average. And I think it's that's why I feel like I'm gonna say this is that average is underrated.
Like, it is underrated.
Very underrated.
But also, again, going back to like how we want to optimize how we show up in every aspect of our life. I'm not going to, I won't say any names here, but I was actually having a conversation with a buddy of ours this past weekend. Like Herb mentioned, we have a friend of ours whose father unfortunately just passed away. And so we were hanging out with them, and, I was talking to one of the friends, and I was like, I've been struggling understanding if I should reach out to your wife, because I don't want to overwhelm her. And I know she's going through a lot. Maybe she might be chilling. I also don't want her to think that like, everyone reaches out within the first week and then everyone forgets because you move on and do your thing.
Yep.
And, he said something like really just illuminating to me that I really appreciated. And he was just like, dude, you've been such an excellent friend. Like, stop overthinking how you reach out, who you reach out to. If you want to reach out, reach out. If she doesn't want to respond, it's okay. But like, keep doing you and stop overthinking it. Just be what feels natural to you, what you genuinely want to do in your heart. And that's all anyone's ever going to ask for. And that was really like that struck a really nice chord with me, because I'm like, you know what, that's true. Because I'm constantly, and I would lean to say a lot of us are constantly thinking, wait, is this too much? Is this too little?
Yeah.
Am I going too hard here? Am I going not enough?
Yes.
Like, what's the litmus
How do you
test?
be the perfect friend in this situation? Like, I want to be a true friend.
Yeah, because again, I'm 40 and I should know this, right?
Yeah.
Like I understand if I'm 28, 30, like, oh, you're a little young, you don't really know this, but it's like, I don't know,
because you always feel like people would excuse it, like you said. Like if this happens and you're young, nobody's gonna hold you for like how to be a friend.
Well, some people,
but some people will. But like most people are gonna like, oh, you're young, like, oh, you're, and excuse it. At this age, and somebody like, oh, you're a terrible friend. At this age, and people are gonna be like, dang, like again, it's gonna be this expectation that at our age we should know how to be adults.
Yeah,
and specifically, even more so, some of the part of this is like how to be a man at 40. And that's like, I will say one of the things is like, I'm constantly thinking is like, how do you, and we keep going in that, how do you be right? How do you be the right person in this moment right now, when you feel like you are nowhere close to what right is deemed.
Yeah.
And like you say, even when you want to be authentic, I think one of the struggles I've had is like, you could be authentic, but you also still feel like, is that enough? Or do I even like my authenticity? Like, do I even like the person that I am at this age? And that's another thing I feel like I've been going through is like, man, like, okay, it ain't that you hate who you are, but it's more so like, all right, if I'm not where I thought I was going to be, fine, I'm not there. But do I even like the place that I'm at right now?
And can I accept that?
Yeah, there we go.
Can I accept myself?
And I don't think that's
hard.
Yeah.
That's hard.
I feel like the answer to that right now would be no. I can't accept where I'm at in this state, in this current state right now. And how do you deal with that at this age?
So a couple of things. That's a beautiful point. And I say that because I'm in the same boat as you. I had this conversation with my therapist. When I started with her back in September, she said, what do you want me to help you achieve? I said, I want you to help me accept myself for who I am. Which, you think you're like, okay, like interesting. But without accepting yourself for who you are, how do you expect the world to accept you for who you are? And this is why we concern ourselves so much with the comparison with, is this person going to say this? Is this person going to say this? Now, what I will say to you with what you just said, like, I can't accept where I am right now. Accepting yourself isn't accepting the situation that you're in.
Fair.
Those are two different things.
Agreed.
But accepting that this is where I am now and just saying,
Yes.
this is where I am now. Doesn't mean this is where I'm going to be, but accepting that
Yep.
is a completely different thing.
Yes.
And I learned this a lot through meditation about accepting feelings, thoughts, and emotions that come in. It's really hard. And you don't have to like it. You don't have to be happy with it.
Right.
But just understanding that, like, this is the reality of where we are in our life. For example, and this is why I have so much anxiety and why I worry, because of, you and I constantly like bicker, banter. I know you're kind of joking about like where we are with this country and all that. And It's like, at the end of the day, a lot of people are just like, yo, but this is what we have right now. So it's not about saying, like it and move on, but it's about saying accept it and what are we going to do about it? Mm-hmm. What's popping? And I also think, going back to just accepting ourselves, though, so I don't get too much off the tangent, accepting yourself doesn't mean that you can't change, doesn't mean that the situation isn't going to change, but it's also understanding, like, I am a good person. I do have good intentions. I have worked my ass off my entire life to get to this position. I have friends who care about me. I'm a caring person. Like, I'm good. So knowing that and accepting that, yes, we all have our quirks. Like, I think about this shit all the time. Like, I got my quirks. Like, I know y'all know I got my, I don't even want to say quirks, but like, y'all know, I know y'all, when I say y'all, my close friends here, understand how annoying I can be, how self-righteous I can be sometimes. Like, for me to beat myself up about that, though,
right,
and be like, oh, I'm annoying my friend, like, come on. There's way worse things in the world. If that's what my friends are going to be complaining about.
I don't think, as your friend, I don't think that's what people are thinking.
Right. It's like, Derek can be a little annoying sometimes. He's always like being like, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, but I genuinely think, I'm like, am I being too much? Like, am I acting too much? Like, those are the little things to just be like, bro, like, you're fine.
Yeah.
You're fine. And just knowing that you're fine and you're good, you're going to figure it out. That doesn't mean that you're like, being complacent. I guess that's the word. We're not being complacent.
Yes.
Accepting yourself for who you are and recognizing the things that need to change or that you'd like to change is what acceptance is, I think. But what are your thoughts?
I think you're absolutely right and spot on in that. Is like, you said something, I think just right in that, saying that just accepting the situation or reality where you are doesn't necessarily mean that's who you are. And I think that's the biggest thing, is because so often there is a saying that you are what you continuously do. You are what your actions are, not what you say, but you are what your actions are. And I think, as you get older, you have a lot of actions that we go back and reevaluate, and you start to say, like, dang, is that who I am? And I think we have a tendency, especially when things aren't right, to overanalyze we can see all of the negative, and it's hard for us to see the good. And I think we get we see that in social media. I mean, you have 1,000 comments and there could be 3 negative comments, and that's what you're going to focus on. So you see those things and that's what you focus on. And it's like, you have to kind of remind yourself, like, that those 3 comments aren't who you are.
Correct.
Those are the outliers. Like, you got to, pay attention to the other comments in your life. And I think that's kind of like, go back and just making sure that you're focusing on the positive as actions and not just highlighting the negative ones.
Yeah, and that's really hard to do. And I think more importantly, you have to do that with your own inner self-critic.
I'm speaking to myself
Yeah.
in this moment. We're having I feel like I'm speaking out loud. It's like a therapy session.
Internal dialogue.
Derek got to send me a PO for this.
Yeah.
I have to send Derek the PO for this. There you go.
But no, that is the truth, because that conversation is the conversation you got to have with yourself, because the thoughts we have about ourselves, the negative self-talk we have about ourselves, we need to realize that we aren't those things.
Right.
And trying to separate that and being like, I'm jealous right now. That doesn't mean that I am a jealous person. Mm-hmm. I'm angry right now. That doesn't mean that I'm an angry person. Like, all those things, or if I'm calling myself a piece of shit, like that's not reality.
Right.
And I'm not saying it's easy. Actually, I think it becomes harder when you get older if you haven't if you haven't worked on those things, you haven't acknowledged those things. It took me too long to acknowledge that and become self-aware of those things.
Right.
And this is why it makes it a little bit harder, because I've been stuck on my ways.
Yeah. I think that you said there's something there as well. Also, is that like our ways, like what are our ways? Do we have processes in? And I think this is the thing that I'm learning that's sticking out to me as I'm getting older on how to be better, I guess, or achieve things, is that it's all really just come down to the process. And we spoke about it a couple of weeks ago, and our disciplines and things like that. And it's just like, what's your process in life for what's your process to overcome hard things? And I think that is what the real focus for me personally has been, like, what is your process going to be to overcome hard things, and trying to come up with a process and sticking to that process and being disciplined to that process, and then consistent to the process, and then evaluating how that process works. And then you can be more strategic with that and make changes. But for me personally, I feel like now it's getting to like, all right, what good processes do I have in place, or what process do I need to put in place in order for me to make the changes and have the progress that I want to see going forward. And that's something to think about, I guess. I feel like
it's certainly something to think about.
Getting older is about the processes that you have in place. What's your process?
We can't rely on other people to fix us, to solve issues, to solve anything. I think it's always good to talk to people and to figure it out. Like, this is a good therapeutic conversation to have. And at the end of the day, it really does come down to us. And I think that's also what's isolating about the process, is that, like, at the end of the day, I kind of only have myself to do this. Like, yes, you have people that have your back that can support you, but like, you got to do the work. You got to do the work, and that also adds a lot of pressure too. Like, it adds an overall pressure. And again, I think all of this, these feelings, these thoughts, these emotions, all of this comes down to the messages that have been delivered to us since we were young, of Western society, of American society. What I will say is that, just being very transparent when you think about it, bro, like, we're doing great. We're doing great, man.
Bro. That's the thing.
We're doing great, man.
I know. That be the hard part, is that, like, bro, actually you are doing pretty well, but it could be better.
We want to be a little bit better.
That's it.
And I just don't think that us wanting to be a little bit better should be should deter us from understanding that we're good. And when I say we're good, I just mean like that, we're good people. And that's the other thing I think that's important. It's like, all right, now we're in our 40s, but like, what do we define as good? Like, what are we defining as good? And what I mean is like, like, for me, like, what's the most important thing to me is like, am I a good person? Mm-hmm. Like, that to me, I think, is the ultimate measuring stick for any human being. Are you a good person? Because I think if you're a good person, that encompasses a lot of things. That encompasses that you want to contribute to society, which means that you're going to want to work. It encompasses, how do you treat others? How do you show up for others? Are you narcissistic? Are you selfish? Are you not? No. Are you empathetic? Like, that to me matters more. And I think what society has told us is that doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. And we're shown that by the leaders that we have in place, that being a good person doesn't matter. What matters is money and productivity, and that's it. And accomplishing physical or amounting physical assets, attaining physical assets, all that, like
materialistic things.
That's what gets delivered to us.
Checking these milestones that we've put in place.
That's the message that's delivered to us, and I think we need to flip that on our head. And I also, but that's why you and I and a lot of people in their 30s and 40s are in anguish, because they're like, well, I don't have what society's telling me means that you're good, but like, so that means that I'm not good. That means that I'm bad, and I think that's the major issue. It's just that message.
It's funny you're saying that because I think unfortunately the way the tail or the scoreboard of you are you a good person at times can be unfortunately seen when we die. That's when we get our flowers, and we brought it up a couple times here recently. We referenced, but recently we went to the funeral, and the amount of people that showed up to this funeral, and you could just see like it wasn't hard to tell this person was a good person, even if you've never met this person before. Mm-hmm. And it's like that also got me thinking about like, dang, when I pass, like who's gonna show up and what are people gonna say about me? And I think that kind of talks about the morality of getting to this age and thinking about that things like who's gonna show up to my funeral and what's gonna be said.
Yeah, it makes you all question that for sure. I mean, it's been interesting. The other thing that I wanted to get back to and touch on a little bit was like just I want to talk a little bit about the physical ailments, and not because it's about the physical ailments, but going back to what you said, I think the physical ailments are just a reminder of our age.
Yes,
and then that reminder makes you start spiraling into what we haven't done and what we haven't accomplished and where we are in life.
Yes.
And there was a lot less of that when we were younger. There was a lot less like, oh, my back hurts. Oh, this hurts.
Right.
So you weren't thinking, okay, this hurts. I'm getting old. Oh, my God, what am I doing in my life? I think that's really what it comes down to, because when I hurt my back, when I hurt my hamstring, part of like what my discipline in life is my fitness. Yes. That's really disciplined. So when I'm on routine, like I'm working out 4 days a week, I'm running 4 days a week, I'm like clockwork, that makes me feel accomplished and better.
Right.
And all of a sudden I don't have that. And so now it's like I'm just working my part-time job, and now I'm remembering, oh, what are you doing with your fucking life, bro? Like, what the fuck is going on, my guy? Like, what are we doing? And it gives you like things. So yes, physical ailments, these things happen when you're older and they suck. But I think what's more detrimental is when they have it, it's a reminder of where you are or where you aren't in life, because you start remembering about your mortality and your age.
Yeah, it almost plays is more so the symptom than the problem now.
Exactly.
Like the physical ailments aren't, the problem. It's the symptom of, man, we're getting older, and now you're starting to think about it spiraling again back into that spiral of, have I done enough? Mm-hmm. Am I happy with where I'm at? And again, we're not even thinking about the injury anymore. It's just. And we have more, like you say, idle time is for, as the old folks will say, idle time is for the devil. Uh-huh. When you're not doing things, you're not distracting yourself, you're not staying busy, you have a tendency to think. And when you're having these negative thoughts, you can just really spiral out of control. So getting the physical part under being, getting the physical aspect of it under, I won't say it, like in a positive aspect, it will go a long way as well. But also just looking at that as like your physical aspect is just, again, playing another part into the mental. And I think at this age, it's all mental.
It's all mental.
It's all mental.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I didn't know where this episode was gonna go, what route it was gonna go. But that's some real talk. Some real talk. And I'd be willing to say a bunch of y'all probably feel this way.
Yes.
Just like with age, and you don't have to be 40. You might be feeling it in your 30s. I know some people in their 30s.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
There's just a lot of there's so much going on in the world, and there's so many people, I'm sure, questioning themselves, their decisions, their lives. What's the point in all this? Like, there's a lot of existential thoughts going on, I feel like.
Yes. And a lot of time, I feel like to have it, like we have, we spoke about this, but like technology has put it to where you have it in your face 24/7.
24/7.
And we're not, we're not in the agricultural age where we're, farmers and out, farming from sun up to sundown, and, you don't have much time to do any thinking. At night, we have a lot of time here.
A lot of time, a lot of idle time, like you said. Everyone's sitting on their phone. And also we live in a world where, having now our social media account, having people follow us and shit, like I realize like everything is about a personal brand now. Yes. It's fucking wild, bro. Everything is about like, oh, let me make myself look the best way possible, not just physically, but like post shit about like my job and how much I'm killing it. On some corny shit, to be honest with you. Like on some shit where it's like, wow, we really are obsessed with wanting people to view us in a certain way.
Yes.
We really are. So I'm talking about grown ass adults. I'm not talking I'm talking about some grown ass adults like watch me type shit. And like I get it. There's certain people that like do things to like I just want to motivate people. I want them to see that it can be done. Cool, that's fair. But you know, I have a pretty good bullshit radar. And like I can see the people that I'm like, fam, like, what are we doing here? Like you just trying to show the world that like you the shit and blah blah. And I don't know, it's just I think it's detrimental to people, especially kids growing up, because now then they're gonna get to our age and be like, well, I saw this person doing this when they were 40 and I'm 40 and I don't got this. So does that mean I'm a piece of shit?
Yep.
Does that mean? And this goes back to just men's mental health. Also, when you talk about both men, you know, I don't know if I was telling the viewers and listeners, but we talked about this before where I had two people who were, one was a friend of mine back in the day. We hadn't talked in years. You knew him too. Another one was a gentleman who was part of my team at work several years ago. He sat in Tennessee, but I was in here. But they both died by suicide at the beginning of this year. And one was 44 and one was like 37, 38.
Yep.
And that shit like shocked me because I'm like, fuck. And, you know, I don't really know what happened. There was no details, but died by suicide. It just makes you think like, what?
Man, this is that age.
That's that age. And it's like the pressure that not just men, but all people must be feeling to perform in some certain way, to be at a certain point.
Standard, yes.
And to lower some standard. And when they don't meet that, they put so much pressure on them, then sometimes they're just like, this is just too much. I don't even want to be here.
Yep.
This is too much.
And we're talking about, I mean, we're saying midlife. We're talking about you have another 30, 40 years.
Even 50 years possibly.
Possibly 50.
Yeah.
And you feel like you can't do another. You can't do it anymore. And that's a crazy thing to think of, especially, again, going back to like you're mentally speaking, you should be at your most, your highest level of thinking.
Well, and I think that's the problem right there where we said you should be.
Yes.
And that's the issue is that we constantly tell people what they should and shouldn't be by a certain age. So I think for starters, let's try to stop doing that. Like you are where you are in your life.
That's fair.
You know, and as long as you're being a good person and you're making an attempt to figure things out, that's all we can all ask for. You know what I mean? That's all we can all ask for. So, and I say that to you and I specifically because I know we struggled a little bit before. But
yeah.
Anyways, tell us what y'all think. What are your thoughts? It's kind of a deep episode, but I genuinely want to hear what if any of y'all struggling men, women, whatever the case is as you get older with just the pressures of becoming a certain age, of how the body feels, how that translates to what your mentality is with life. Would love to hear it because we obviously have some deep thoughts.
Yep.
About that perspective. So,
well,
anything else you want to add on that before we go into our fun facts?
I think you tied it off quite well.
All right, brother. Let's go into fun facts. Would you like me to go first?
Sure.
All right. I don't know what you got, but I'm going along this path.
Okay. I
got some fun facts about things that start happening to your body once you turn 40.
Oh boy.
Things that start. I got 6 things. It's not a huge long list, but I'm gonna go into it. Things that I actually really didn't know. Number 1, your bones start to shrink. Did you know that? Your bones start to shrink.
I guess I don't know if I knew that.
So it says around the age of 40, your body begins to reabsorb bone cells faster than it can create new ones. This means your bones slowly lose density and even shrink in size. Over time,
okay.
This makes them weaker.
Yes.
So that's what you get older.
That's why you fall, break your hips, all that type of stuff when you get older.
Number 2, you start losing brain gray matter. That gray matter, right? Your brain's gray matter is the tissue that handles decision making and memory, and it begins to shrink. So at this time, the brain's internal clock shifts, and this makes it physically harder to get deep, full night of sleep than when it was in your 20s.
Oh, so that's why old people struggle to sleep.
Yeah. That's also why I'm struggling a little bit more to sleep. Like, I used to be able to sleep so well in my 20s, bro, out.
Yes.
Now I wake up 2-3 times a night, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Same.
100%.
Same.
It's hard for me to get just a full night. Yeah,
yes.
yeah. So I don't get as enough sleep, so that starts happening. Number 3, sarcopenia. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Muscle loss accelerates. You might notice your arms and legs feeling a little softer or looser, losing their tone. This happens because humans naturally lose up to 5% of their muscle mass per decade, starting in their 30s and 40s. I don't know what y'all talking about. Your boy's fucking jacked out here. Oh, what? They be saying that too because my testosterone is low. And they be saying, hey, man, maybe I'm like, nah, bro, I still got that energy to hit that gym. Fucking crushing, dog. Fucking looking good, dog. But hey, apparently that's what happens, bro. Starts happening in your 30s after your 40s. Number 4, your bladder muscle weakens. bro.
Well, I mean, I don't have to say that's been.
The muscles supporting your bladder stretch out and lose elasticity. This condition is known as stress incontinence. It's common experience sudden unexpected leaks when laughing, coughing, or sneezing. Just peed a little bit. No, not kidding. Yo. That's crazy. That's crazy. No comment. Number 5, eye lenses become stiffer. The small muscles that help your eyes focus on things close to you start to lose flexibility. This makes it harder to read small text. Oh, this is why people have vision problems.
Your eye lens has something to do with your eye?
Like this. Yeah, you notice older people, they got like the loose eye lens. Yeah. I think that's what it is. They start loosening.
Oh, you can't see over them motherfuckers.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Yeah. Because you don't have control over them. That's crazy. And then the last one is your internal thermostat breaks. As hormones levels change during midlife, the brain's temperature control center gets confused. That's why Herb showed up at 100 degrees weather wearing long sleeve and pants. The boy was like, I can't be cold. I said, fam, it's 100 degrees out there. He's like, not in the studio.
In the studio?
Not in the car. I'm like, bro.
It's a cool 60 in here.
Bro, you wow, bro.
It's a cool 60 in here.
I be sweating all the time, bro. I'm like, I gotta have this shit. Sun's out, guns out.
Now your boy over here feeling good. Conceal the gun. Concealment.
Anyways, those are my facts, man. What you got?
Yo, my fact is this, is that have we ever thought about how rare blue is?
The color blue?
Yeah, the color blue in nature.
In nature? No, I guess I haven't really realized it. I mean, it's all just basically whatever the object that is blue is a reflection of the light spectrum, of the blue light spectrum.
Agreed.
So why is it so uncommon?
Yeah, so, well, unfortunately, blue was considered one of the last colors that we were able to see as humans. And it evolved over thousands of years. And the reason is that why blue is rare in nature is that there are no common blue foods or a few blue animals and no blue soil. So the sky and the ocean exist but are vast and ambient rather than object light. So, the ocean at time, it can be green, turquoise, different shades of blue. The sky, it's blue, but it can be different. So over time, for the longest, people didn't consider the sky to be blue and didn't consider the ocean to be blue. So we didn't have a lot of colors of blue in nature for us to reference. So blue was one of the last colors that we quote unquote was able to see, and it's one of the last colors that you will see written about in a lot of old English texts and stuff. For instance, they used to consider that the sky was described as bronze and the sea was as wine dark. And now that pattern turned out to be nearly universal across ancient cultures, but over time, it was eventually evolved to people started to see the color blue because, again, it's not a lot of how rare blue is in nature. And that's why we can start to see blue now.
Interesting. Well, I mean, you got blueberries, but that's also, they look kind of black. I'm just trying to think of natural things. You got like bluebirds, blue jays.
Yeah, blue jays, one of the few, but no like blue soil or like, you have like a few blue fruit, but it's not like a blue tree.
Right.
And like all these different colors, like fire.
I'm just thinking about like Roy G. Biv, red, orange.
It's on the spectrum, obviously. Yes,
blue. Green, blue, indigo, violet. Those are all kind of the blue, but they're the end of the blue.
Yes. Yeah.
Interesting. I wonder how much blue there is in the universe itself, though. We got blue right here. This can't be adulting. We got a bunch of blue.
Well, now it's become now we have a lot of blue.
Well, because it's not in nature. We know how to make it. Yeah, we know how to. Yes. We know what to do to have the light reflect blue back to us. Oh,
yeah, interesting. So the Egyptians were the first to have the word blue, and this is likely because they were the first to artificially produce blue dye.
Gotcha.
And that was it. So humans have always been able to see blue, but for the most of history, it didn't consciously exist in our own color because without a word for something, the brain doesn't categorize it as distinct.
Good to know. The more you know.
Bam.
There we go.
Well, we did it. Another episode.
In the books.
Woo-hoo.
Comment, like, holla at us.
Subscribe.
Let us know. Yeah. Let us know. Subscribe 100%. Hey, until the next time, dog. Appreciate it. Peace.